Hi, you're listening to Listen to Local with Adam Velo, and today I've got a guest that is Ullah, who is, well, amongst my favorite fish-based musicians, but also a fantastic West Australia Perth-based artist that, yeah, really, really emotional songwriting and just one of really emerging voices to come out of the country. And yeah, delight to have on the show today. So welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much for your kind words. Thank you.
No worries. Yeah, so you're on the program today because you obviously just put out your incredible new EP for then, which you describe as like an ode to a period in your life, starting out in music. How long has it been on, the vision board to release this?
It's been something that I've wanted to put out for a really long time.
Mm,
I think when I originally started doing music, I didn't actually realize how expensive it is. It's
yeah.
an incredibly expensive passion to have. Um, and I've always wanted to put out a body of work, but to be able to do that, you need to be able to record and do everything that comes with recording music and a whole bunch of it all at one time. And it just wasn't something that I really was able to do. So it ended up
Mm,
being recording quite a few songs over a larger period of time.
mm.
So yeah, these songs were recorded and written in like late 2024, early.
Yeah.
So it feels like it feels like it's a long time coming.
Yeah, and I mean it's great that you finally were able to get out, and yeah, it's an interesting thing that people, when they think of music, they're like, what what you do is you play instrument, record it, and then you just ship it out to Spotify or whatever
Um,
streaming platform. No, that's not how it works. So
I wish. I mean, it could be if you like, there's some amazing people. I mean, today with technology, it is quite accessible to be able
mm,
to record your own music. I think just with a band and having live drums, yeah, I've just got that wish, that want, and that desire for it to be more of a studio recording. But
yeah.
yeah, it's not as simple as what I once thought it was.
Yeah. No, I mean that crisp studio sound just plays so well to the tracks you've recorded and all that. And yeah, I mean, obviously, highly recommend people to check them out. Well, obviously, after we complete
Oh, thank
the interview
you.
today, but yeah. So, of course, the earlier ones were ones that you've already released to the public, but there were two parts at the end that you did actually release as new work, which were How to Dance Parts One and Two. What was the feeling into telling a story in the two parts that you did?
I think that I came to a realization, this was like, yeah, late 2024, that as a child, I was quite feral. Like, there's a lot of us I've got quite a few siblings, and would go to folk festivals as kids and would be dirty and gross and would dance and were really free range. And there wasn't even the idea that other people were perceiving that, and
Mm,
that there was judgment that came with that. And obviously, as you get older, especially when you go through high school and you become aware of others' perception, I think you lose that. Well, I lost that freedom.
mm,
Um, and I think that, yeah, I think after a few years, I became aware of that. And it was something that once I had become aware of, I couldn't forget it or ignore that
mm,
that was my reality. And so I think I liked the idea of, at that point in time, we didn't have a song in the set that was like people could dance to. So
mm,
I liked the idea of having, a part one that acknowledged that loss of childlike sense of freedom, and yeah, acknowledging that harsh reality, and then having a part two where it could be something that was really intense and dancing, and I could dance to it and other people could dance to it. I liked that not only was I acknowledging something that I had lost within myself, but also at the same time then trying to
mm.
gain it back. So yeah, that's how those two came to be.
A really cool juxtaposition you've got there, with being able to, yeah, just sit with that feeling and then obviously amp it up right at the end. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure the obviously you're thinking about live performances and all that. Obviously, your childhood was formed with a lot of folk festivals and all that. So, what was it that inspired you to pick it up in the first place, the guitar and play?
I would say it was, I mean, before I could speak, I was singing Missy Higgins' album. Like mum, I would force mum to play it all the time,
Yeah.
and I was singing along to those songs. And then, yeah, mum has always played so much music in the house, like Bon
Mm,
Iver, Missy Higgins, James Taylor, all of those people. And then every year since we were really, really, really little toddlers, going to music festivals and watching people on stage. And I think that, yeah, even I remember mum put me in a choir when I was in primary school
mm,
because I was always singing around the house and the garden. And I think not only was music pushed within the home, as in just like being able to hear it all the time, but also it was tied in with community. And I think
mm,
I'm someone who just anything that's community based, anything that means, yeah, connecting with those around me is just, yeah, going to impact me in a really positive way. So I think
mm,
tying those two together and having them together really reinforced that I wanted to um, yeah, learn how to do that too and be
mm.
the person who's also on the stage. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very special, the community aspect of I feel like especially with the Australian music scene, I feel like I mean obviously interconnected with the community stations around the country and on the high scale Triple J and all that. So yeah, it's very it's such a nice feeling to be around and be able to chat to people like yourself about music and all that, and yeah, just
No, same
sharing the
way, community is
experience.
everything, especially when it comes with music.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, touching on the themes, of course, of around how to dance, is that you've built that brand that is so uniquely you with the crown and all that that builds that childlike innocence. You obviously have the presence as well. What's important to you when putting on a performance?
I think similar with why I became in love with
Mm,
music is I think what's really influenced what I want to do when I'm on stage, and that's probably connection. I
mm,
think I like that. Yeah, I think yeah, obviously went to a lot of live performances as a kid, and then when I got into high school, going and watching local bands, um, and watching how different people interacted with the audience and how that made me feel as an audience member, I think definitely dictated then how I wanted to proceed with that.
mm,
Um, yeah, I think you just want to, for me as an audience member, I want to leave a gig or a concert feeling like I am way more connected to this artist that I already love than what I was
mm,
before. I think like social media is one thing, and it's a pretty amazing platform that's free that allows you to engage with those that you love the artwork of.
mm.
But and same with like listening on different platforms or like whether you listen to their CDs or whatever it is, but then also having an actual artist on stage talking with the audience, connecting with the audience, and then playing their music is a completely different experience. And I have been to gigs where there's no communication whatsoever, which I understand that obviously there's like parts that come with that, like exhaustion or social
Yeah.
anxiety, and I get that completely. But I think for me, I've left feeling way better
Mm.
knowing that I've connected than leaving feeling like yeah, I feel like something was lost there, maybe.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think that would be also just like for me, the way that I react when I'm feeling anxious or slightly distressed, which was a huge factor in playing live for
Mm.
majority of the time until very recently, was that would force me to talk way more than talk way less. And whether that's a
Yeah.
good thing or a bad thing, I'm not sure, but that is what it created. So I didn't really have a choice in the matter, to be honest.
Well, I mean, I've obviously attended your gigs in the past, and I think that was a positive overall.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, no,
I'm glad.
the connection is it's almost intricate with the the fact that music is an emotional medium, and it's story based to any person in the crowd. It's fascinating that yeah, it's not an instinct for a lot of people to make that connection up on stage when yeah, obviously you're putting yourself out there already. So and people are hearing exactly what you have to say and all that.
Oh,
And
thank
yeah.
you.
But yeah, obviously the problem with some trends of younger audience, so Gen Z and all that, has been, moving away from letting natural actions take place at gigs and instead do what is, perceived to be trendy or whatever. What do you think is, yeah, something to bring people back into the space?
I think in terms of like at a live gig, do you
Mm,
think?
yeah, yeah,
I think that obviously with social media, not only do you feel like you're being perceived by those directly around you, but there's also the fear of being filmed and it being possibly perceived by millions of people around the world.
mm,
Um, so that obviously makes it really hard for people to feel properly comfortable to move and feel free. And there's been so many articles written about it, especially recently, and how like Gen Z's killed the dance floor and things like that, which I think is really interesting. And it
mm,
shows a lot about, I just spoke about the positivity of social media
yeah,
and how it's a free platform to connect. But, in also saying that it's a free platform that also has just as much of an ability to disconnect
yeah,
people. Um, I think that it's so much easier to say than do. But I think that obviously when at a gig or at a concert, I think trying to be as present as possible. And I think
mm,
obviously like filming certain parts is like awesome, completely get it. I do the same thing. If I'm watching
yeah,
something that's extra incredible, I'm like, of course I want to film, it's gonna watch. I really want to watch it later.
yeah,
But I think trying to be as present as possible and obviously being, conscious and aware of those around you, but also at the same time allowing yourself to just feel, giving yourself the grace to move if you want to move or dance if you
mm,
want to dance or enjoy the moment as much as possible.
yeah.
Obviously within the space around you. I don't know, it's so hard to say. I think allowing yourself the grace to be more present, even though it's much easier to say than actually do. But yeah, I think that's the only thing I could even try and suggest.
No, for sure. And I assume as performers up on stage, when you're seeing the crowd being, energetic and in the moment as well, that gives you a bit of a boost too. I would
Oh,
presume.
definitely,
Yeah, yeah.
definitely. I played a gig a little while ago supporting um Spacey Jane,
Mm,
and their crowd was amazing, but it
yeah,
was super young. It was 16 plus, obviously with parental vision, and it was a really big crowd, but it was the most like they were silent the entire time. Like during the speaking, during the
yeah,
music, during every single point, but also were you could sense that it was like a lot of people's first gigs, and it
yeah,
really like everyone was like pin straight and kind of, and because of that nervous energy I was so nervous, like
yeah.
completely uncomfortable. I'm used to playing at places where there's quite a bit of like, I think with gigs comes alcohol consumption, and so usually there's a space at the very back where there's a few people chatting, or that's kind of what I'm used to. I'm used to, you know really trying to find the few people in the crowd who I can really connect with.
Mm,
And this was like a whole space of people who were just like completely, just I don't even know how to describe it. It was not like anything I'd experienced before. That was crazy. I don't even remember why I said that. Why did I? Oh, right, energy.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
that whole crowd of, I wish that in that moment when I was playing, I could have just said like, I wish I could have just said to everyone like, okay, everyone, let's just take a moment and like wiggle your bodies and move your
yeah,
bodies
yeah.
and I wish I just said that rather than like feeding off each other's energy of like complete discomfort. Um, Even though they were amazing, awesome crowd.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think definitely the crowd makes such a difference. And I can't even imagine what it would be like to be one of those massive artists and you see videos of the gigs when all you can see is screens.
Mm.
I cannot imagine how that would feel to be an artist and feeling completely disconnected from the audience. So
Yeah.
it definitely is such a give and take. I think as much energy as artists can give, it also is like as much energy as the audience can give.
No, agreed. Yeah, you obviously experienced a little too much spacey, not enough Jane that
Yes,
time.
exactly. Exactly.
But no, obviously that's why we see a lot of times these days you have artists like Bob Dylan, Paul McCartney doing phoneless shows and all that,
Yeah,
which obviously that's very helpful when you're an established artist without needing, the publicity and videos
yeah,
that
definitely,
but
exactly.
yeah, obviously a bit of a trade-off, but it is I have seen a lot of different ways artists have been activating the crowd lately, and it seems like one of the popular ones is getting people to jump around on specific songs that become iconic and all that. And yeah, it's just a really interesting concept of trying to get the crowd involved with you as well.
Definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, so one tour you just finished off was with Stella Donnelly, and what's it like, behind the scenes when while having Jack in your band as well as obviously Stella headlining?
Yes.
Yeah,
It is well, Jack being Stella's younger brother.
yeah,
Um, I mean, I don't even know how to, I mean, I think that for this tour, it was really amazing watching people that we really love and adore and feel really comfortable with, how they navigate the stress of shows, especially
mm,
like before going on stage, because there is that accessibility where you are in a similar space before a show, like obviously everyone giving each other their own like private time before, but
mm,
you are able to see how they like warm themselves up and they like get ready and then how they like deal with the aftermath of a show.
yeah,
It allowed me to see a more sustainable way to conduct yourself during a tour. Um, and yeah, having the help and guidance of Stella and Marcel
mm,
and everyone else in the band was so good. And
yeah,
also having that like sibling comfort, like
yeah,
so good, so
yeah,
special. Um, yeah, I'm so incredibly grateful for the experience. It was such a good experience. Um, yeah, I don't know. I can't even put it against anything else because in reality, they're such beautiful people that I think
mm,
anyone that was to go on tour with them, no matter if you're siblings or not, or incredibly close with them or not, I think you would still feel a similar level of comfort just to how accommodating they are.
yeah. I've had experiences with Stella in the past. She was on the program
I saw that
previous
so good.
times. Yeah, so but yeah, such a wonderful person, such a caring to anyone that and willing to give so much time to people
Definitely,
that yeah, deserve her attention, and yeah,
definitely,
it's so deserving of all the success around the time.
definitely.
But yeah, when performing, it's one thing you have done with interacting with the crowd that has been introducing each of your band members with a fact to get to know each of them. So, what's one thing that people don't know about the person that is Ullah?
Oh, I think something that people might not know about me is that I love Real Housewives. I love the reality TV show Real Housewives. I also love Below Deck.
Yeah,
My biggest dream in this world, like something that would just really would be such like I don't know, I think I would never be unhappy again if this happened,
yeah,
was to meet it would be to meet Lisa Barlow, who is
yeah,
part
yeah,
of the Housewives of Salt Lake City.
yeah.
Um, and I have before tried in my like Ulla's fish tank, which is like the broadcast channel on my Instagram. I've tried to be like, is anyone watching Real Housewives this specific season? No one has responded, which has been an incredibly isolating experience because I thought a few more people would be able to relate to me. No one in my friendship group watches Real Housewives or Below Deck. So yeah, it's a pretty isolating experience. So if anyone listening is a fan of Real Housewives, please let me know because I would love to talk to you and debrief on each episode. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, if anyone's watching, we're going to start. I just thought, listen to the local watch party. Like, we invite the artists on, they pick a show, and we
So incredibly down for that.
yeah. But yeah, you also have more recently been working a lot more in the East. And now, how's that been changing in terms of your music muses?
I think that so I've recently moved here
Mm,
and I think that it's been honestly, I feel like I'm in a bit of a hermit phase right
mm,
now in terms of I've now gotten a job, but just getting into the routine and the system of living in a new
mm,
place and finding a good like work balance and with music right now I'm trying to write a lot and start the process of recording. So it feels like that has been taking up a lot of my time. And I'm also trying to learn a new thing, which is called balance
mm.
in my life, which I've never been able to do before. So I'm trying to stay calm and get rid of my sense of urgency that I have
Yeah.
somehow been born with. I think we all have.
Yeah.
So I think that I'm just trying to take things really slow. And then once I feel honestly in the next week or so, I think is when I'm going to start integrating myself into going to gigs again
Yeah.
and yeah, more community driven things. But yeah, I don't I've watched a few gigs and I'm trying to think of them right now, but I haven't seen enough. And I think I'm really excited for that. That was one of my main reasons to why I wanted to move. Obviously, it's cheaper living here in terms of
Yeah.
like flying to Sydney and Brisbane. It's so much cheaper than flying
Mm,
back and forth from Perth. But also just Perth is amazing. And I think it's got one of the best music scenes in the world.
yeah.
But obviously, there's only so many venues
Mm,
compared to in Melbourne, where any single night of the week, if you want to watch a gig, there's multiple on and there's multiple to
mm.
choose from in any given area. And I think that is incredibly special. So yeah, I'm incredibly excited to start that process of finding new creative inspiration.
Yeah. But yeah, just whenever you find out the balance process, can you
Oh,
just
I'll
let
let you
me
know.
know because I
Oh,
think I
definitely,
still need
definitely,
to find
definitely.
that out. But no, obviously, shout out to a lot of the small metropolitan Melbourne areas with the Nightcat, Howler, Northcote Social Club, Wesleyan. Yeah, I can keep going on and
It
on with
goes
so
on
many.
and on and on. It's so good.
Stay Gold. Yeah, it's all those different venues that it's always such a pleasure to be able to experience all the different experiences from all those and the passionate people that run those. It's such a
Agreed.
yeah,
Agreed.
great. But yeah, so obviously amongst that, do you have any plans coming up in the near future for the new city? Shows or anything?
In Perth or in anywhere?
Anywhere in general, of course. Yeah.
Well, we do have in I think 3 weeks' time we're playing our first ever show in Canberra, which I'm very
Yeah.
excited for. And then we do have in Melbourne a headline show that is being planned and booked in right now.
Yep.
Um, and then I'm hoping that soon we'll be finding the right time to go back to Perth to do a headline show in Perth. But the Perth one is way more up in the air right now, just because I've been back and forth so much since
Yeah.
November to March that I just feel like I need to get settled in. But yeah, there's for what I know for certain is that, oh, and there's actually, and it's not been announced yet, but we're also doing a few shows with an artist from Melbourne in Melbourne and Castlemaine and another place. So I'm really excited for those to just like, yeah, get a deeper connection with the community in Melbourne.
Yeah. Well, definitely keep an eye out for any announcements and watch that space. And that's a perfect way for me to segue to the bit. If people were to watch that space and find those announcements coming up, where would they quite possibly look to?
I would say I feel like I'm most active on my Instagram, I would
Yep.
say. which is, I think it's called Ullah Likes You.
Yeah.
Someone said recently that they thought it was Ullah Loves You and it got changed to Ullah Likes You. But I feel like it's always been Ullah Likes You. So I'm not sure unless it did get changed, but that was not me. I promise no one's been demoted from a love to a like. Um, but yeah, I would say Instagram probably. And um, probably, I think everything's automatically goes to Facebook, doesn't it?
I think
Yeah, I feel
so.
like it
Yeah,
does.
yeah. Yeah,
So if I don't
meta
like
general.
Instagram, then
Yeah.
I would go to Facebook or honestly any of them. I feel like I try my very best to keep all of them slightly active.
Yeah. And I'll definitely be looking out for that myself. But
Thank
finally,
you.
what is your favorite lyric from the EP that you just dropped?
Oh, I would say I think something that perfectly encapsulates the whole EP and the themes that run through it all would be in How to Dance Part One. And it's like one of the very first lyrics, and it just says, "She whispers that my limbs would move if I gave them the chance." And I feel like that is so true. The only barrier to anything that I've ever, the only barrier that I ever have is one that I've given myself. So I really could move if I just gave myself the chance. And I think that's something I'm trying to remind myself every single day. But yeah, I think that's probably my favorite because I think it encapsulates the themes quite well. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's there's so many lyrics amongst the EP that are so beautifully written and produced, of
Thank
course.
you.
And of course, yeah, How to Dance Part One probably such a standout for both parts, though, of
Thank
course.
you.
But
Thank
yeah,
you.
thank you for your time today. It's been a pleasure having a chat to you, and yeah, best of luck for all upcoming shows and events and
Oh,
selling, of course, in the city here.
yeah, thanks so much for even having me in the first place. I'm really grateful to have been able to talk to you. So thank you so much for even having me.